Welcome to the NCDWI Guy podcast, where defenders of the Constitution assemble to prepare for courtroom battle and firm owners gather to develop marketing strategies that will revolutionize the practice of criminal defense. Here's your host, the NCDWI Guy, Jake Minick.
Hello, fellow freedom fighters, and welcome to episode 199 of the NCDWI Guy podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about mock trials, how to get better at your craft, how to be the expert in the courtroom, how to develop a student mindset. So here at Minick Law, the theme for quarter number 1 of 2024 is student mindset. This is one of our core values, and developing a culture of education, developing a student mindset is critical to our DNA. This is a part of who we are. And I have been blown away in the last few days with different people at the office of all kind of positional levels in our intake team, in our case manager team with our attorneys, of different things that our team is doing to improve the process for our clients, to try to get a better outcome in the courtroom for our clients. And it's just always awesome as attorneys call me up to bounce a case off of me, as a case manager says, hey, Jake, how can we figure this situation out? Can you show me on this driving history what we are looking at so that I can better understand and learn what's going on with this client situation, but also so that I can be in a better position to answer this same question in the future related to a different client's matter. And it's just cool to see people that are hungry for information and trying to get better at their craft. Again, whatever positional level that is. I sat down today with Amy Smith in the Asheville office, who is just a kick-ass attorney, and she was going over a double jeopardy argument that she has coming up, and she had this 10-page or somewhere in that range, a lengthy memo that she had put together, and a supporting affidavit, a proposed 6-page order. And this is for district court. And so I'm sitting down looking at this memo, and I was like, dang, this is just amazing. It's so cool to see this level of thought going into a client's case as a way to try to get a dismissal of our client's charge. So just constantly surrounded by that energy. And it reminded me of this saying, that you should surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Let me say that again. We've all heard it. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Now, I just went online and tried to do a Google search of who that quote is attributable to. Everybody's heard that. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And I'll tell you what, I could not figure out who to attribute that to, because in the Google Images box, when I put in that quote, basically there's 50 different names that come up as having said that. And I'm sure that I did not exhaust the list of people that have said that. And it's interesting because that's one of the few quotes where I really have had a difficult time finding the person to attribute the quote to. And one of the quotes, and I loved this, it said, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, dash smart person. Smart person as the person that the quote was attributable to. And I love that. I was like, that is a smart person that is saying that. That's why so many people are attributed with saying it, because a lot of damn smart people have said that quote. A lot of people that are smart have said, hey, you got to find people that are more intelligent than you are to surround yourself with. And I think that's one of the real things that I love about coming into the office, that I love about the culture here on our team is that I feel that. And it's very humbling, but in a beautiful way. I feel that constantly of, there are people on the team that know more about this issue, that know more about how to deal with this problem, that know more about how we can improve the process than I do. And it's awesome. It's awesome to have other people that are, using that specialized skill, background, training, and putting it to work in a way that I never could dream to. And it's just incredible. So, to me, part of the student mindset is, surround yourself with people that are better than you, and then through communal education, everybody get better. Don't just surround yourself with smart people. Don't just be smart yourself. Constantly try to be growing in what you are doing. This is just so important to us building a better business. It's important to getting better outcomes for our clients in the courtroom, for getting a better, delivering a better client experience to our clients, for the way that we can contribute in our local communities, that we can be better legal leaders, is just to foster like mad this mindset of education. I'm going to reference a couple of prior episodes in case any of this is resonating particularly with you to now. Episode 96, we were doing a becoming a DWI master series, and we had some guest speakers in that series. It was about 15 episodes, I think, or 10 episodes at least, of becoming a DWI master. One of the episodes I did was a solo episode on becoming a DWI master by education. And that was episode 96. If you want to learn how you become the expert by being a habitual student, go back and listen to episode 96. Episode 53, I gave 10 incredible resources for NC DWI lawyers. So if you're looking to up your game in the courtroom, if you're looking for a way to get better, if you're looking for free resources that are out there, most of these are free, then go back and listen to episode 53, 10 incredible resources for North Carolina DWI lawyers. Now, today we're going to be talking about the purpose and value of a mock trial. And part of the reason that I'm talking about this in the theme of our Q1 student mindset here at Minick Law is because we are doing a mock trial day, on March the 8th that is open to lawyers in the bar that want to come participate and be a part of this. Really to kind of see the mock trials that we are putting on, bounce ideas off of the mock trials with us. This is a community criminal defense lawyer community exercise. So if you're interested in attending the mock trial day, this is going to be at Campbell Law School. Very gracious to allow us to come in and do our mock trial day there. They have, from what I have seen online, just an absolutely marvelous set of courtrooms, mock trial courtrooms at the law school in Raleigh. So I'm super pumped to be able to take advantage of the great facilities that they have. But we do need an RSVP in order for anybody outside of the firm to attend. And if you're interested, there's two places that you can go to RSVP. The event is on the Freedom Fighters app. So we have developed an app for our Freedom Fighters Summit and community that we have developed around that. And in the events tab of the app, you can go and RSVP for this event. It's free. There's no cost. We're still figuring out lunch logistics depending on how many outside people come to that. So there could be a minor cost just for lunch if you want to be included in that. But in terms of attending and being a part of this learning experience with our firm's team, there is no cost to attending. So just go RSVP at the Freedom Fighters app. download the app. We've got some discussion forums that we're going to be building on there for criminal defense lawyers as well. So go download the app, or you can go to the website freedomfighters.law, and you can also RSVP there at freedomfighters.law under the events tab. So either way, again, it's free. However you want to RSVP on that front is fine. But we are very excited about having you come up. In fact, I think it's actually the RSVP for the Freedom Fighters is actually not under the events tab on the website. I'm looking at it right now. It's under the homepage, freedomfighters.law. About halfway down the page, there are 3 upcoming events. Mock trial day being one of those, and you can just hit the RSVP button. So with that being kind of the backdrop of things, why do mock trials? Why do mock trials? Well, I've got 5 reasons that you should consider doing a mock trial. If you are a public defender's office, if you are a small law firm and you got 2 or 3 attorneys, but you can bring in some outside people to act as witnesses, do mock trial days. If you're a solo person, you don't have an assistant, partner up with some other law firms in your area to do a mock trial day. This is something that has been a part of our culture. We do regular mock trial days, and we've done that now for years. We try to have a quarterly mock trial day scheduled each quarter. Sometimes they're virtual, sometimes they're in person. But it's a part of our learning process. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons to do mock trial days. So reason number 1 is nerves. The main reason why people don't try cases, the main reason why lawyers don't take DWI cases to trial, don't take criminal defense cases to trial, is because they're afraid of looking silly. They're afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid of not objecting at the right time. They're afraid of not approaching the witness the right way. They're afraid of trying to present evidence that's going to be kept out. They don't want to look silly. They're nervous for that unknown reason. And the more that you get to practice these things when it doesn't matter, the more comfortable you are going to be when it does. Now, it's great to get trial practice through just being stuck into the fire. I never had a mock trial day. I did moot court in law school, but I never had a mock trial on a criminal case before trying my first case in district court. I didn't have a mock trial day before I tried my first DWI case in superior court. Just did not have that built into our firm, didn't have the opportunity, didn't reach out about that. And so I went in with a lot of nerves. Am I going to do this thing the right way? Say this thing the right way? Am I going to walk up? Am I going to be able to play the video? And how do I question an officer, with the video in real time? Didn't get a practice shot at any of those things. And that's fine. But if you have the opportunity to go through that in practice, you're going to feel so much more comfortable doing it in real time when it counts. And it's important because you want to feel as comfortable as you possibly can when you take a real case to trial. You're probably going to still feel nervous if you are doing this in a mock trial setting. It's just part of the structure of doing a mock trial. Is it's something that, again, we anticipate what we care what other people think about us, right? In our mock trial days, when we do these mock trial days, there are people that are trying to figure this out for other how to deal with these type of situations. Whatever the specific issue might be, our team is bouncing these questions off of each other. We're bouncing these questions off of each other repeatedly, and so you just get a shot but you're doing it in front of other people. And so there's a nervousness that comes from, not wanting to look silly in front of the crowd, even if that's a crowd of your own firm, the other people that you work with. It still is something that is intimidating and scary and makes you nervous. So reason number one, this is going to help eliminate the nerves so that you feel more comfortable taking more cases to trial. So reason number two, feedback. Most people won't give you meaningful feedback in a courtroom setting. I definitely suggested in the past on the podcast that when you do a trial in the courtroom, to try to get feedback about your case. Ask the judge, ask the DA, ask other defense lawyers that are in the courtroom, hey, what would you have done different? What do you think that I could improve on? Right? Ask for feedback. But it's difficult for those people to give a lot of meaningful feedback because they're concerned, potentially about your professional relationship with one another. That maybe they don't know enough about the case. They walked in, halfway through the trial. They don't want to hurt your feelings. Like there's just a lot of reasons that you can only get limited feedback in trying a case in real time. So, get feedback. It's also really helpful to do a mock trial of an upcoming case, which is what we do most of our mock trials around, because you get feedback ahead of time. You get feedback that is actually going to help you on this specific case. Now, it's always good to get feedback because you can generally improve your, let's say argument on probable cause. You can generally improve whatever specific area of law that you're arguing, your style, the way that you are presenting evidence. But if you want feedback that's going to be helpful in this particular client's case, getting a sounding board on the case ahead of actual trial is killer in terms of being able to then incorporate that feedback to make a stronger argument in the courtroom. I don't have any specific analytics that I could use to support this, but our results for clients on cases that we have done in mock trial settings, I would be shocked if it is not substantially higher. And that seems to be the case because we'll have attorneys that will, provide feedback on the actual outcome of a case that we did a mock trial around. And it's very interesting to see that. Like, it's just so interesting to see that, improvement of actual outcome, actual result, because of the fact that we spent the time, basically spitballing this case and trying to figure out how to make it better, how to improve the argument, how to improve the presentation, understand where the weaknesses of the case are by other people. Super powerful. So reason number two for doing a mock trial day is to get meaningful feedback. Reason number three, courtroom experience. Courtroom experience. There's something so wonderful about doing a trial in kind of a real courtroom setting. So this, again, we do some of our mock trial days are virtual just because we're all over the state. And so it's difficult 4 times a year to get together to just sit down and do a trial. But we try to do at least 2 in-person mock trial days a year. And part of the reason for that is that there is a certain amount of learning just in terms of how to move about the courtroom, how to approach a witness, how to play a video with a witness in real time, how to present evidence, how to speak to the court and project your voice from being a certain distance away from the table. Can you be heard? Are you audible throughout the courtroom, and getting feedback about that? Being able to move around and watch other attorneys move around. and react to that. It's so powerful to be able to do it in a physical space. No matter how much time that you spend thinking over a case in your office, no matter how much research you do, reading, briefing statutes, briefing cases, thinking about how your arguments are going to go, even bouncing it off of another attorney at your office, which we do on almost every case that we have that comes in the door. It gets bounced off of somebody else in the office before it goes to trial. But to be able to kind of practice the case, or just practice generally in a physical space, allows you again to be so much more confident in the actual courtroom, moving around, putting down pieces of evidence, approaching the DA, approaching the judge, knowing when to do these things. There is a real art and grace of moving around the courtroom, and having a mock trial day allows you the opportunity to get experience in the, I would say, courtroom movements. So, reason number 3, courtroom experience, physical courtroom space experience. Reason number 4, this promotes creativity. Mock trials promote creative arguments. It's hard bringing unfamiliar arguments to the table. It's hard bringing a new or nuanced argument to the table in district court. A lot of times it feels like, district court is the same old thing every day. These issues work in this county, these issues work in a different county. It feels very monotonous in terms of how cases are processed. And so there's a beauty to that, and a great system to that. But if you're trying to bring a new argument to bear, or a nuanced argument to bear, or kind of get creative with how to present a case, doing that in the mock trial setting is so powerful. And some of the really wonderful ideas about how to present a specific issue, or to conduct a specific type of cross-examination, have come out of these mock trial days, where either in real time you get to see somebody else doing it, or after one of our attorneys is done with their argument, with their cross-examination, with their direct examination, with their presentation of the evidence, whatever it might be, you get feedback from other lawyers in the courtroom, and they say, hey, you know what you might want to try is this and that. I've seen success in this county, or, here's a thought that I had about how to present that specific issue. And it gets you thinking outside of the box. It gets you thinking about how to present this nuanced argument. It's also easier to be in a creative space and practice something that you haven't done before in a place where, again, it doesn't count. It's just easier to be creative. If you are, trying to throw a behind the back pass, you might want to do that for the first time in practice before trying it in a real game, right? If you're going to, do some trick play, right? It might be better to do that in a scrimmage versus in the real game come, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the lights are on. That's why it's important to try new things, and creative arguments are so much easier to foster in a mock trial setting, where it doesn't matter. And you can have colleagues that are like, that is totally stupid and bogus, and that's never going to work. You just flush that down the toilet. Or that can bring ideas to bear, or say, hey, you know what, that actually is a pretty good way of presenting it. Here's how maybe you could add to it, or do it a little bit differently. But I really like the nuanced way that you have gone about this. Being able to bring creativity to our practice is so critical. And it's so much easier to bring that to bear when you get to do it in a place where it does not count. So number 4 reason for doing a mock trial day is due to creativity. It allows creativity. And number 5 reason to do a mock trial day is the camaraderie that it brings about. It is awesome to learn from your colleagues, and whether those are people within your firm, they're people in your office, they're people in your community. Being in that team setting and really going to kind of bat on a case together. When we do a mock trial setting, we've had non-attorneys involved as both witnesses and as a mock jury in the past, but primarily our mock trial days are for our attorneys, and attorneys play the roles of everybody, generally speaking, in the courtroom. Again, you can bring in outside people to act as a witness, and we've had plenty of our staff and sometimes even people outside of the firm to be engaged in the mock trial setting. But generally speaking, for most of them, it's been our lawyers. And so you get to play the role of prosecutor, you get to play the role of defense lawyer, you get to play the role of officer, expert witness, judge. All of these different roles, you get to kind of sit in that seat. And so it's helpful, I think, even to have that additional perspective, looking at a case from those other angles. Trying a case through the eyes of a prosecutor looks very different than sitting at the defense table. So we've got, I would say we've got some very skilled prosecutors at the office that, do a pretty dang good job, and I think would be better than a lot of prosecutors in the courtroom, just because they've seen these things so many times, time and again, how the state argues a DWI case. So you get to see it from a different perspective, you get to experience it from a different perspective, but it also is just a great community and camaraderie building exercise, because you're really getting to bounce ideas off of one another in an unusual context. Again, there is some tremendous value, I would say, from bouncing a case off of a colleague. When we bounce cases off of each other at the office, there's incredible value that comes out of that. But there's something about being in like the role-playing atmosphere that is just very team building. And so again, in terms of building a better culture at your law firm, building a better office environment, building a better community of defense lawyers, if you're doing this with other law firms, it can be extremely bond building exercise. So for those reasons, and because we have this mock trial day coming up on March the 8th, Friday, the actual mock trial setting is going to go from 10 a.m. in the morning on Friday, March the 8th, until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we may do some sort of a social event to follow that. But that is the obviously one of the reasons for this podcast. But again, if you're not able to make the 8th, make a mock trial happen at your law firm. Make a mock trial happen with other law firms. If you're a solo, get other people involved in this exercise, because it's going to bring incredible results and make you a better lawyer. And hopefully the people that you invite are smarter than you, because you want to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, as we already talked about. So hope this information has been helpful. Hope you can make the mock trial day in March, and I look forward to speaking with you again next time.